This is something you've been asking for a long time. It took quite a while to gather these, but I finally found 3 stories that occurred during school lockdowns. The first story takes place on what started as a normal day in calculus class. It was Friday's 7th period, and everyone was excited because the weekend was near and spring break was just around the corner. We didn't have a test that day, unlike many of my friends in other classes, so our teacher decided to make things fun by playing games with us on a quiz website. As we were doing a brand logo quiz, I remember exactly when it happened. Right after my friend answered Adidas, the dean's voice came over the loudspeaker. His tone was urgent and nervous as he announced that this was not a drill and instructed all teachers to initiate a lockdown. Chills ran through me as our usually relaxed teacher suddenly became serious, rushing to turn off the lights and motioning us to gather in the back corner of the room. We sat quietly for a couple of minutes before the buzzing sound from a panel in the room stopped, signaling that the power had been cut. Everyone exchanged uneasy glances, realizing this was serious. Then distant yelling echoed from the hallway, growing louder. A man's voice, filled with rage, screamed threats, making 2 girls in my class start crying. The sounds became closer, accompanied by banging on lockers. The man, clearly unstable, began pounding on our classroom door, shouting for us to open it. Most of the crying girls screamed, adding to the chaos. It felt like an eternity, but eventually the pounding stopped and the man's screams faded as he moved down the hallway. About 10 minutes later, though it felt much longer, the dean's voice returned, explaining the situation. "Then, dear," Sparrow said. According to him, a mentally unstable individual had entered the school and attacked the receptionist, who ran outside screaming. The staff conducted a search of the premises but couldn't locate the man. Later that night, a janitor found him sleeping in a storage closet. Rumors spread that he had a weapon, but by the time police arrived, he was gone. The second story happened during the first lunch period on a gloomy October day. It was raining lightly when 4 loud booms startled everyone in the cafeteria. At first, I thought it was thunder, but screams erupted across the room. Security quickly ushered everyone into the multi-purpose room, pulling curtains over the glass walls. A friend of mine, curious about what was happening, overheard that a man across the street had barricaded himself in his house and was threatening both his own life and the police. Worse, he was reportedly a registered sex offender who had been seen watching students in a disturbing manner earlier that day. The nun was clearly scared. We were kept in the multi-purpose room for over an hour, escorted back to class one by one. Later, I found out this man lived near my friend Brandy, who recalled seeing him on Halloween doing something horrifying, writing warnings in blood on his windows. We all realized how dangerous he was, and I'm grateful he never came near us. The third story is from my time as a recent college graduate working as a computer intern in my old high school's basement. The office where I worked was cozy but lacked a door, which became a problem when the school went into lockdown one day. Suddenly, the basement door creaked open and I heard footsteps descending. Someone entered my office and I hid under my desk, heart racing. Then my phone buzzed with a message. The sound must have alerted the intruder as footsteps moved closer. He had me locked. Just as I was about to panic, a man wearing a red plaid shirt appeared and claimed he was hiding too. Checking my phone, I realized the text was a warning. A man in a red shirt had shot a teacher. I bolted for the stairs as a gunshot rang out behind me, missing by a hair. Luckily, police apprehended him at the basement exit.